Ladies and gentlemen, imagine a life where your actions align with your purpose, where your mornings begin with clarity, your days are driven by discipline, and your nights end in peace. But this kind of life doesn't happen by accident. It must be crafted, intentionally, patiently, and with great inner strength. Discipline outlasts motivation because motivation is emotional, and emotions are fleeting. On some days, you feel inspired, energized, and ready to conquer the world. But on other days, fatigue, doubt, or external circumstances can drain that spark. Relying solely on motivation is like chasing the wind. It's inconsistent, and it cannot be trusted as the foundation for growth. Discipline, however, is stable. It's a conscious decision you make regardless of how you feel. It doesn't wait for inspiration to strike, it acts in spite of it. Expectations. Discipline is the structure you build to support your goals, especially on the days when you least feel like moving forward. A disciplined person trains their mind to obey intention, not emotion. This shift from reactive to proactive living is transformative. Expectations. When your actions are based on feelings, you are at the mercy of your mood. But when your actions are guided by discipline, you reclaim your power. Expectations. Discipline is the reason you show up to train, even when it's raining, even when you're tired, even when no one else is watching. Expectations. It is the quiet force behind every successful path. It doesn't scream, it doesn't boast. It simply delivers results through repetition and commitment. Discipline creates momentum. Each small action, repeated consistently, compounds over time. It's not about massive bursts of effort once in a while. Expectations. It's about showing up day after day, refining your craft, strengthening your will, and becoming someone who can be trusted by themselves. With every disciplined choice, you build self-respect. You start believing in your own word. That belief becomes inner strength. Expectations, and that strength is what separates those who dream from those who do. Motivation may inspire you to start, but discipline ensures you continue. In moments of temptation or weakness, motivation might be silent. That's when discipline becomes your ally. It reminds you of your vision. Expectations. It reminds you of why you started. It doesn't seek comfort or approval. It values progress. Expectations. Discipline is not about rigidity or punishment. It's about honoring your future self. Expectations. It's the recognition that short-term sacrifices are necessary for long-term peace. When others stop because the journey is too hard or too boring. Expectations. Discipline keeps you going. It keeps you grounded in purpose, while the world sways in distraction. Discipline doesn't wait for the perfect mood, environment, or timing. It works with what it has. It does not care if the task is glamorous or unseen. It simply knows that mastery, growth, expectations, and transformation lie on the other side of consistency. And that consistency is only possible through discipline. Expectations. Every person who has achieved something meaningful did so not because they were always motivated, but because they had the discipline to show up, put in the work, and stay committed even when it was hard. Expectations. Silence and stillness are powerful tools because they allow access to a deeper layer of understanding that is often drowned out by the noise of daily life. In the modern world, we are constantly surrounded by distractions, notifications, conversations, expectations, demands. The mind becomes overstimulated. Expectations. Racing from one thought to the next, never settling long enough to perceive what truly matters. But when you deliberately step into silence, when you allow your body and mind to become still, you begin to hear what was always there, the quiet truth within. In silence, there is no performance, no pressure to speak, no mask to wear. It is in these moments that the mind stops chasing and starts observing. Patterns, behaviors, emotions, expectations, and thoughts that once seemed overwhelming become clear. Stillness doesn't mean emptiness, it means clarity. Expectations. It means creating space between stimulus and response so you can choose your actions instead of reacting blindly. Expectations. The great insights don't arise during chaos, they emerge in the still, calm waters of presence. And when you cultivate silence, you also cultivate awareness. Stillness is where transformation begins. When the body is calm, the breath slows, and the heart rate steadies. The nervous system shifts from a reactive state to a receptive one. In this state, healing happens. Reflection becomes possible. You can assess your direction, your choices, and your inner condition. It is not weakness to be still, it is strength. It takes courage to stop running from discomfort, expectations, to sit with your restlessness, and to meet yourself without distraction. That confrontation with your own mind is not easy, expectations, but it is necessary if you wish to grow beyond what you've been conditioned to believe. Silence also sharpens perception, expectations. You begin to notice the details, the sound of your breath, the tension in your muscles, the patterns of your thoughts. This heightened awareness translates into more conscious living. You become more deliberate with your words, your movements, your time. Instead of speaking to fill gaps, you learn to listen deeply. Instead of acting impulsively, you respond with intention. Silence teaches you patience. Stillness teaches you self-control. These qualities are not just tools for inner peace. They are strategies for navigating life with wisdom and balance. Expectations. When everything outside of you is loud and chaotic, silence becomes your sanctuary. It's the space where you recharge, reflect, and reconnect with your essence. In that space, you are reminded that your worth is not tied to noise, achievement, or validation. Expectations. You remember that power does not always like movement. It often looks like calm presence. The still person is not asleep. They are awake in ways the hurried mind can never understand. To master yourself, you must first meet yourself. And that meeting happens in silence. Expectations. It happens in stillness. Not because those states are magical, but because they reveal the truth that was hidden by distraction. Expectations. They show you what you need to let go of, what you need to cultivate, and who you are beneath all the noise. Protecting your energy is essential because your energy is the fuel behind every thought, action, and decision you make. Without protecting it, expectations, you allow yourself to be pulled into situations, people, and patterns that drain your focus, disturb your peace, and weaken your spirit. Energy is not just physical, it is emotional, mental, and spiritual. Every encounter you have either charges you or depletes you. Expectations. And while time can be managed, energy must be guarded with deeper awareness. If you are not intentional about where your energy goes, it will be consumed by things that do not serve your growth. There are people whose words, presence, or behaviors leave you feeling tired, anxious, or unbalanced. These are not always enemies or bad people. Sometimes, they are unaware of how much they take without giving. Expectations. If you do not set boundaries with such individuals, they will keep draining you until you are left depleted and resentful. Expectations. Protecting your energy means learning when to say no, when to walk away, and when to remain silent instead of engaging in fruitless conversations or conflict. Expectations. It's about choosing peace over proving a point. You do not have to attend every argument you're invited to. You do not need to explain yourself to everyone. Your energy is more valuable than approval. The environments you place yourself in also affect your energy. Spaces filled with noise, tension, expectations, and chaos have the power to unsettle your mind and lower your vibration. Protecting your energy means creating a space within and around you that allows calmness, clarity, and focus to grow. Whether it's your home, your workspace, or your routine, surround yourself with what uplifts your spirit. Choose quiet over chaos. Choose simplicity over clutter. What you allow into your space reflects what you are willing to tolerate inside yourself. Your habits are another key factor. Scrolling mindlessly, expectations, consuming toxic media, comparing yourself to others, and engaging in activities that don't align with your values all deplete your inner power. Protecting your energy means choosing habits that nourish your mind, strengthen your body, and deepen your awareness. It means resting when needed. Expectations, moving your body with intention, and fueling your mind with what elevates your thinking. Expectations. Discipline in how you spend your time is discipline in how you protect your energy. Expectations. Protecting your energy does not mean isolating yourself from the world. It means moving through the world with discernment. Expectations. It is the wisdom to know what is worth your attention and what is not. It is the strength to remain calm in the face of chaos. Expectations. And the clarity to recognize when your energy is being misused. Not every battle is yours to fight. Not every call is yours to answer. When you protect your energy, you preserve your power. And with preserved power, you gain the ability to build, heal, and grow with depth and intention. Expectations. The quality of your life is directly connected to how well you manage and protect the unseen force that drives everything you do. Your energy. Suffering is a teacher, not an enemy, because it reveals truths that comfort and convenience often hide. While most people try to avoid suffering, it is within pain that the deepest growth occurs. Suffering strips away illusions and forces you to confront reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. Expectations. When everything is going well, it's easy to become complacent, to believe that life will always flow smoothly. But when suffering arrives, expectations, it shakes your foundation and demands your attention. It challenges you to see what you've been ignoring, what you've been suppressing, expectations, and what you truly need to learn. The pain you experience in life, whether emotional, mental, or physical, is not random. It often points toward areas that require healing, change, or acceptance. When you stop seeing suffering as a punishment and start viewing it as a guide, your entire relationship with pain transforms. Instead of resisting it, you begin to ask, what is this trying to teach me? That question alone opens the door to self-awareness. Suffering can teach you patience when life feels delayed. Expectations. It can teach you compassion when your heart is broken. It can teach you strength when you feel powerless. But only if you are willing to listen. Running from suffering only prolongs it. Numbing it with distractions, blaming others, or suppressing it deep inside never leads to peace. The more you avoid pain, the more it grows in the shadows. But when you face it with courage, you begin to understand its message. Every wound carries wisdom. Expectations. Every scar is evidence that you survived, that you endured, and that something within you refused to break. Suffering shows you how deep your resilience goes. Expectations. It teaches you humility, reminding you that control is an illusion and that life is not always predictable. Expectations. But within that unpredictability is the chance to awaken parts of yourself you never knew existed. Growth rarely happens in comfort. Muscles grow by tearing and rebuilding. The mind sharpens through challenge. The heart deepens through loss. The soul strengthens through adversity. Expectations. Suffering is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to shape you. It reveals what truly matters, who you really are when everything is taken away. Expectations, and what you are willing to fight for. When you embrace your suffering as part of your journey, it no longer owns you. Instead, it becomes part of your strength. There is wisdom in pain, but only if you stay present with it. Allow yourself to feel it fully. Let the tears come. Let the questions arise. Let the discomfort stretch you. And in that process, you will discover that suffering does not diminish your light. It reveals it. Expectations. You will uncover a deeper layer of yourself, one that cannot be shaken by external events. Expectations. The one who walks through suffering with awareness comes out on the other side transformed, not weaker, but wiser, not broken, but whole in a new way. Expectations. Pain becomes purpose and wounds become windows through which the light enters. Letting go of what weighs you down is an act of liberation. Many people carry burdens they no longer need. Grudges from the past, failures that haunt them, identities that no longer fit, and expectations that were never truly theirs. These invisible loads slowly drain energy, cloud perception, expectations, and prevent forward movement. What once served a purpose may now be limiting your growth. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or giving up expectations. It means recognizing that certain things have reached their natural end and must be released for something new to begin. Expectations. Attachment is a root cause of suffering. When you cling to what is no longer aligned with your path, you create inner conflict. Holding on to past hurts or people who have outgrown your journey creates resistance. You become stuck in a loop, reliving memories, replaying conversations, and hoping for different outcomes. But life moves forward, and holding on pulls you out of the present moment. Expectations. It ties your identity to pain or a version of yourself that you've already outgrown. The truth is, not everything is meant to stay. Some experiences come to teach, not to remain. When their lesson is learned, the weight must be released. Letting go requires courage because it often means stepping into the unknown. The familiar, even if painful, can feel safer than uncertainty. Expectations. But the weight you refuse to drop is the very thing that keeps you from rising. Just as a balloon can't ascend while uninsured. Expectations. Your growth is limited by what you continue to grip tightly. Whether it's the fear of judgment, the need to please others, or guilt over the past. These emotional chains hold you back. By loosening your grip, you make space for clarity, peace, and new opportunities. Expectations. Forgiveness is a powerful form of letting go. Not because the other person always deserves it, but because you deserve freedom. Expectations. Carrying anger or resentment poisons the mind slowly. It affects your energy, your relationships, and your ability to trust again. Forgiveness is not condoning the wrong. It is refusing to allow it to control you any longer. It is reclaiming your power by releasing the emotional tether. The same applies to self-forgiveness. Mistakes, regrets, expectations, and perceived failures are heavy until you accept that you did the best you could with the awareness you had at the time. Letting go also means detaching from the need to control outcomes. You can plan, prepare, and act, but you cannot force life to unfold in exact accordance with your desires. By surrendering the obsession with certainty, you allow life to move naturally. Patience, you begin to trust the flow instead of constantly resisting it. In this trust, you find relief. Expectations, you start to see that life doesn't happen to you. It happens through you, and only when you are unburdened can that flow be free and full. Expectations is not something found outside. It is uncovered within when you no longer carry what you were never meant to bear. When you let go, expectations, you don't lose anything that truly belongs to you. Instead, you lose what was never truly part of your highest self, and in that release, you rise. Expectations, living each day with full presence means stepping into every moment with your whole being, your attention, your awareness, your heart. Expectations, in a world filled with distractions, this is not easy. Our minds are constantly pulled into the past or projected into the future. Regrets of what happened yesterday and worries about what might come tomorrow often take us away from the only thing that is ever truly really expectations, the present moment. But the truth is, life does not happen in memories or fantasies. Life happens now, in the breath you are taking. Expectations, the words you are speaking, the steps you are walking. Presence is not passive, it is deeply active. It requires intention and focus. It means listening without planning your reply, walking without rushing, eating without scrolling, being with someone without mentally being somewhere else. Expectations, it means feeling your emotions as they arise, hearing the silence between words, noticing the small details most people miss. When you are fully present, everything becomes richer, the colors are brighter, the sounds clearer, the connections deeper. Expectations, even the ordinary becomes sacred because you are truly there to experience it. Living with full presence transforms your relationship with time. Most people feel like time slips through their fingers, but that's because they are not actually living. They are merely existing. When you are present, expectations, an hour can feel full and meaningful. When you are distracted, even an entire day can feel empty. Expectations, time expands or contracts based on the quality of your attention. Presence stretches time because you are aware, awake, and engaged with what is in front of you. And in that engagement, you discover fulfillment, not in the quantity of things done, but in the depth with which you do them. Presence also cultivates gratitude. When you truly see, feel, and appreciate the moment you are in, you begin to realize how much you already have. You stop chasing what is next and start appreciating what is now. The simple act of breathing becomes a miracle. The warmth of the sun, the taste of your food, expectations, the sound of laughter, these become sources of joy rather than things you rush past. Gratitude is not about having everything you want. Expectations, it is about recognizing the value of what is already here. And you can only do that if you are present enough to notice it. Presence is also the root of peace. Expectations, anxiety lives in the future, regret lives in the past, but peace lives in the now. When you bring your awareness to the current moment, you quiet the noise of the mind. You come back to yourself. You stop being pulled in 1,000 directions and return to the center. In that center, expectations, you find clarity, strength, and calm. You begin to respond instead of react. You begin to live intentionally instead of habitually. Living each day with full presence is a discipline. It is a choice made again and again, breath by breath. And with that choice, expectations, life stops being something you endure and becomes something you experience, moment by precious moment.